Michael, first off, no skipper for you this weekend. Just how much of a blow is that?
Yeah, I think it's he's been ever present and he's been probably the standout consistency, the consistent one in the team, if you like, in his role. So it's a big blow because I think we'll miss him for 2 games. So yeah, not ideal, but in the same sense, Lewis is chomping at the bit, ready to come in, and we've had Tom Hamer back this week, and he's done 45 behind closed doors. So we've got other guys to come in and step in and take the opportunity to try and perform.
Yeah, how do you approach the next 2 when you know that Lewis can't play both?
Yeah, that's a challenge. Like we had that in the start of the season, didn't we? Also, to say mid-season when Lewis still can't do 2. And Tom Hamer wasn't available and Tendai had to go inside, so we've got to look at that probably more for Tuesday than this Saturday, which does sort of disrupt us a little bit on that back line, but it's something we'll get to Tuesday and we'll look at that. But where we are at the minute is that's why Tom Hamer's done a good 45 minutes on a bounce game in the middle of the week, so it's good.
Ben House is also close to the limit. Are you having to speak to him about that?
Yeah, all the time. Speak to them. Sometimes we can be better in those situations and not get easy cards, but actually the last few games I think Ben House has controlled himself really well in those moments. But it is part and parcel. I think the challenge we have always with Pordy is when he's winning every header, tackling everybody on the pitch, you're going to pick up bookings. So it's one of those situations where we didn't want to be in, but it is what it is, and we have to and opportunities for the other players to show what they can do.
How's George Wickens?
Yeah, he's back into training this week, which is great. So he's back in, ready for contention, ready to be selected. So that's good again. So we've got him, Pardo, and Zach all fully fit and raring to go.
I was listening to the first interview you did with me right at the start of your appointment, and you talked about how last season we wouldn't see a Michael Skubala team, but this year is when we would. Are you seeing on the pitch what you wanted to see when you first joined?
That's a great question. At times, yes. At times, no. And I think that's coaches always want perfection, don't they? And we definitely, at times look very good in moments. Definitely, in some games in 45 minutes and not in other games. I look at the Reading game, the Peterborough game, the Stockport game, and I think that's what we're trying to get to. And then I look at other games and we haven't been there. So I think the answer to that question has been at times yes and at other times no, really. And that's the challenge.
What would you like to see more of?
More intent, more aggressiveness. More speed, when you reflect on the game at the weekend, we just didn't have that, and that's down to us, and we've got to keep pushing that and keep driving that, and being more brave on the ball, and taking more risks, which is again, it's easier said than done, but I think when we're at our best, that's what we look like.
Do you feel your players are playing within a shell at the moment?
Maybe some, maybe not others. I think that's the group, and it's natural. I think in some ways sometimes they are what we said and they're aggressive and on the front foot, and other times we haven't quite got that right, and I need to help them with that. But yeah, they wouldn't say that, and they're ready to go, and we've just got to make sure that we are, if you like, always trying to do that over across the 90 minutes, no matter what, and being us. And I would say to them, when we're us, we look really good. It's when we get pinned back a little bit, and I think sometimes the game state is really interesting, because when teams sit off us a little bit, that's where we've got to go and be really front-footed and more front-footed at times.
And do you think your players are learning that as the season goes on?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's where they get it right sometimes and not the other times. And we've said to them it's a bit of a different challenge for us this season, where teams have sat off us a lot more, and then we have to dictate a lot more. Last season I don't think we had that, but this season the lads are learning how to push that and go after that in the right moments, and try and be pushing the game as I like, and being aggressive.
The mood around a football club can change so quickly, especially in a week like the one coming up.
Yeah, I think it's always, isn't it? I think the mood, everyone's disappointed when you lose, everyone's high when you win, and that's football. That's what it is. We love it, and when it's that the good opportunities you can go again when you've not had the best result, and you've not had the best performance, but we know it can change really quickly. And when you look at this league, that's what's happening all over the place. And Barnsley, had a little bit of a wobble, and now they're won the last 2. I saw them at Northampton, they look really good. So I think the challenge of this league this year has been that. It's been really unpredictable. It's been really hard for teams to have big runs, even if they have put a few together. And the ones that have done that are where they are near the top. And that's the bit that we've been searching for and haven't quite got yet. So we need to keep pushing for that and keep trying.
They have struggled at home this year, Barnsley. Is that something you feel you can target?
I think so. But then if you look at the Premier League stats, loads of teams have struggled at home this year. It's a really interesting thing. So it's a really big talking point with coaches at the minute that a lot of teams are struggling more at home than away. And that the only time that happened before was COVID. So there's a lot of chat going around that at the moment, which is really interesting, because I think, like you say, Barnsley probably struggle at home. I think when I look, we've had some really big performances at home, and then other times we've not been good enough at home. And away, I think we've been quite solid and on the front foot, actually. And so it's really interesting how that's worked out that season. No one can really work it out why. But we want to take the game to Barnsley away. We've got to do that from a structure and do that from how we want to do it, and try and take the game, go after the game, and hopefully we can put in a performance that tries and get a result.
News that season tickets have gone on sale, obviously, in the last 24 hours. Do you feel a pressure in the sense that you know that the momentum towards an end of a season can switch how many people might make that decision to buy one or not, either way?
It's a good question. Well, I think that it's natural, isn't it? The emotion, we love the emotion of the game. So if fans haven't seen, or supporters haven't seen a great game, then they can be a little bit disappointed, like we all can. But I think since I've been here, the supporters have been amazing and our fans have been amazing. They love the club, and I think through good and bad, you support your club as much as you can. And yes, you can be disappointed with what we do on the pitch, but I think it's bigger than that with season tickets and fans. I always think, players come and go, managers come and go, people come and go in the club, but there's always people that are left are the supporters of the club, and it's really important that they keep supporting the team, because no doubt in my mind, since I've been here, the fans have been fantastic, and when they are behind the team and that place is rocking, and I remember a few games away, Barnsley last year away and Mansfield last week away, the travelling fans were immense, and it really, really does push the team on. And at home, when the place is rocking and we can get it rocking, and we have a part to play in that for sure, it's an amazing place to be for the lads to perform under.